Hello, welcome to episode 53 of Going 19, the Stephen King podcast. Today, we are continuing our journey through the Dark Tower series. We are on the fourth book of the Dark Tower, Wizard and Glass, reading part 3, chapters 1 through 7. With me are Allie and Ed, and I'm Amber, and let's start the show.
Okay, well, Allie, do you remember yet?
Somewhat.
So,
It has been a little bit since we read, but I remember I was so getting into it and I did not want to stop reading, but I didn't want to read further and get myself confused.
yeah, like I did.
But like we are in the crux of the action right now, and I'm
That's what I said at the end last time. I remember being like, we're stopping at like a huge cliffhanger almost. Like it's kind of perfect.
yes. Because they're like in jail, and I'm like, no, what's gonna happen? And I did for the number of times that to this point we've read Roland having these like almost supernatural like attention having ability, for them to be caught so unawares, I was like, no.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, he's 14. I'll cut him a little slack.
Yeah, well, he's 14 and drugged in love, so.
But he is a gunslinger, so there's no excuses.
Yep.
I mean, also the fact that they have been warned so many other times, like, I hate to buy into it, but it feels like maybe this is just Ka, like, just has to be this way, and things will, well, they won't turn out, but, I guess Rowan will be alive.
Yeah, well, like, and he has to be caught unawares at least once for him to learn his lesson, type of thing, is how I am seeing it.
I shouldn't have read ahead. Everything I want to say right now is in the next section, and it completely relates to what you guys just said. And Amber just left again. You must have like no service out there tonight.
I guess.
The
weather will affect their service.
Is there weather stuff going on?
I don't know, but just with how cold it is, it might be knocking out her Wi-Fi or something.
Well, today, oh my God, it was like 43 degrees when I left work today. I was like, oh, I stripped down to my t-shirt. It was like summer.
I was up in Carlisle over Christmas, and the room that I was sleeping in didn't have any heat, and I'm pretty sure it was 9 degrees in that room.
Holy crap, that's cold.
Yeah, it was freaking cold.
I thought my car was fucking up because it was so cold, but turns out I just needed transmission fluid. so that was a much cheaper fix than what I thought I was gonna have to do.
Oh, that's good.
Right, I'm getting it inspected this weekend. So, Anne Bryce comes out. You're back. I hear you.
Okay, cool. I don't know what's going on.
I was saying maybe the cold is messing with your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, maybe.
January 10th, then it runs through like the end of February, and it's 8 episodes. It's 9 episodes, but episodes 1 and 2 are the same time, and then it's like 7 more. So.
Oh, so they're doing like a Game of Thrones release every week type of deal, and not just a dump.
Right.
Got it.
So. I think we could binge them. So, if you want to talk end of February, sometime in March, we could do
that. I could maybe do mid-March.
Okay. I mean, or we could just do a watch party and everybody sit in their own living rooms and watch them together.
That's true.
So anyway.
I just know this upcoming year is going to be a little bit crazy for me with wedding planning.
Oh, what? So. Not like you got anything going on, geez. Yes, I remember wedding planning, and that is all consuming.
Yes.
I'm glad you don't have to do it once or sometimes twice. Some people do it 3 times, but hopefully not once. Anyway, Amber, I think I said I was saying I shouldn't have read ahead because everything you guys said, everything I wanted to comment was stuff that was in the next section, but it totally related. So, I'll just say that Ka sucks. I hate it. I'm with Eddie. I miss Eddie. That's the only thing. I miss all my peeps, man.
I mean,
Shimi's cool, and I guess Shimi's the only one that's cool.
he just does such a good job, like I guess Roland or Stephen King, whoever, of immersing us in this story, in this world that I'm like, I forgot about them. Like even that brief moment where they comment on something, I forgot what it is right now, but it's like in parentheses. I'm like, oh right, they're there. This is a story.
Yeah.
I love how people talk in parentheses in Stephen King books. I haven't figured that out yet. I guess is that whispering?
Well,
Or like tangenting off an initial thought.
Right, like I could just picture someone talking out the side of their mouth or something. I will agree that in the moment when I'm reading it, I'm not thinking about anything but what is going on. But yeah, and Eddie and Cuthbert are a lot alike. I think Roland says that too, doesn't he?
Well, he said that in like the drawing of the three, I thought.
He probably did. Like how he says, all right, so where do we start? Wait, true love, like any other strong and addicting drug, is boring. Okay. I'm just gonna have to go ahead and disagree with that sentence.
Yeah, like what strong and addicting drug is boring?
Right? I can't. How addicting can it be if it's boring? Yeah, I thought that was an odd sentence.
And we know he's not talking about Coke.
Well,
Right. Good.
I think it's not saying drugs are boring to the person who's taking it. They're boring to the people who are around the person who's taking it.
Interesting.
True love is quite frankly annoying to everybody who's not one of the two people. But when you're in it, there's no better feeling in the world. Except maybe addiction, which is boring. And then the next page it says, those in the grip of a strong drug, heroin, devil grass.
Oh,
I like how
Allie, I'm
often
sorry.
find them. Go ahead.
I was reading that passage, and you're right. It is talking about it becomes boring to the people around them, because it says that even at the end, true love is really only interesting to those who have become its prisoners.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Everyone else is just like, oh, it's the same thing. Like you guys are so lovey-dovey. Yeah, we get it. Who cares? But if
God, they're at it again. Get a room. Oh shit, they got a room. Fuck. Yeah, well, of course he said it better than I did. Only interesting to those who have become its prisoners. Well, that's a different twist. Yeah, and then the next page, you find themselves trying to maintain a precarious balance between secrecy and ecstasy as they walk the tightrope of their lives. So all this euphemism maybe means is that I guess Roland and Susan are living double lives, but mostly Roland.
Well, and also that, I mean, I think the comparison of, what they're doing to like finding a new drug is pretty good because they're being reckless.
Yeah.
I mean, are they? See what I did there?
Well, aren't they?
I mean, I think they are. Well, no, I think they're being careful. The only reason they got caught was because of the goddamn glass. Like there was no way to protect against that.
But that's like saying like you're not being reckless with a drug as long as nobody finds you using it. They shouldn't be doing it in the first place, technically.
Well, I mean, that's really not an option at this point.
So, that's what I mean. They're being reckless. So what do you expect?
Well, I guess the behavior is reckless. You're right. But,
well, and even if the glass hadn't caught them, which of course it did because it sees, everything, I feel like eventually they still would have been caught because Carlotta was all in a tizzy about that.
Cordelia.
Cordelia.
You're just
Sorry,
talking about Anne Rice.
Carlotta's a Mayfair.
I know. I'm mixing them up. sorry, yes, the aunt is like all up in Susan's business. And she's like, "You're with that boy." And I feel like at some point she would have just started following Susan around and they would have gotten caught.
Yeah, she's damn sure, for no good reason, if you ask me. Like,
Yeah,
she
I
has
agree.
really no evidence that anything is going on, but she is, I guess,
Well,
just this, like Amber, I think you were saying last time, like, is he the only like boy she's seen in her whole life? Like, why does she think because he's there and he fucking looked at her? Oh, now they're doing it. Yep. But did you see? They looked at each other. I can't have that. Is there no other? I guess
well,
boys is the. I hesitate to say boys, but I guess it's the right word.
I think now we've learned that she's not. I mean, I never really thought she was innocent, but now we learned that she even had a hand in her own brother's death. So I wouldn't put it beyond her to be projecting on her niece that her niece is doing things wrong because she's always doing things wrong.
Yeah.
Ye-
Or I think that's too, but I think it's less what Roland is acting towards Susan and more Susan acting towards Roland because she's never had any interest in the other boys. So she was indifferent to them versus even showing just a little bit of, "Oh, hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
to Roland is like, "Hey, like something's weird, something's different here."
And she definitely, even if their relationship is toxic as hell, she probably knows her niece very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't she suspicious at one point because they're not arguing?
Yes.
Mhm.
And she picks up on that and she like sasses her back and it like calms her down.
Yeah. Like, I talk back to you. Will everything be okay? Yeah. Um, I guess. I mean, maybe. Cordelia's just. Oh, she's so awful, and she gets worse. Like, as the more you read, like, she gets progressively worse, and then when.
I mean, it seems like Susan is insinuating that she's like actually going insane. Like something is deteriorating in her.
I mean, by the end of this section, it kind of seems like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like her
Wait, it did.
burning the straw man that she made look like Susan, I'm like,
Oh my
okay,
god, that's a good point.
that's a
Totally forgot
little
that
not
happened.
normal.
I'm sorry.
You, Jan. What? Wait, what did I say? Chari man. I think this is Jan Chari man.
Yeah.
What? Wait, where do we? Okay, somebody tell me what the end of chapter 7 is.
It's when the two guys they go to try to get the ball back from Rhea and she's like, "No, you can't have it." And he's like, "Well, you can come with us then."
Oh, and they go off into the tall grass, as it were.
Oh wait, no, actually, I lied. I forgot.
All right, let me
No,
look.
that is
No, yeah, that
where
is right. Yeah,
7
okay.
ends because I'm reading the very last like page and a half of that, and then it's Reynolds going into her shed to find the goats dead when she thought they were alive because she hasn't noticed how much time has passed.
She's not taking care of anything, including
Yeah.
herself.
Okay, yeah. So Cordelia is um I don't know if she's saying she's going in. She's almost withering away.
Right. That's why I said like there's something in her that's deteriorating, whether it's mentally or physically or both. It's I don't understand quite.
And
Well,
she kind of goes from just an annoying like you can relate Susan's perspective being a teenager with a older relative who just doesn't get it. But then she becomes, oh, she's not just an annoying relative. She's suspicious of everything, and then I can't remember all the stages here, but and then oh, it's not just that she's suspicious of everything; it's she's up to something with the Farson people, and then it's like, oh, well, it's not just that; she actually killed her brother. Wait, do we know that? I hope.
Well,
wait.
I think I don't remember if we know or if we just suspect that she had something to do with it, but Susan did go
Cordelia
out to the shed.
Cordelia
Isn't Susan in
herself
the shed like figuring it out at one point?
Cordelia
Yeah.
has a thought herself where she says, her dear father didn't know how to keep her, had to insist on stopping Fran Legel and the other, and look where it got him, something like that. Like she knew that they
Yeah.
killed him.
Right. So okay. So we knew that she knew about it, and then it progresses from that I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to say now. I can't remember when there's a scene where Susan's in her office and she finds stuff, and I can't remember where that is. But so she just gets worse and worse throughout the book. Like every time every time there was a Cordelia part, I'm like, just get through it, like so it's over, so I can move on to the next one. And then but they like every part got worse and worse and worse every time I read it.
Yeah.
Forgot where I was going with that. All right. Chapter. So anyway, I gotta find my spot. Sorry. I lost the electronic devices. So that was just kind of a tangent because I had just read the part where the rook's skull disappeared.
Yeah, I remember writing that down, and I was like, "What do you mean? Where did it go?"
Well, yeah, and how do you not look for it? Like, you know, that's something that very, very clearly points to you. Like,
Well,
are
they're
you
not
concerned about that?
Not only that, it was something he had all the time. Like, why wouldn't he like?
Notice when he didn't have it anymore? Yeah.
he's very nonchalant about not having it. Yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, I don't know, it's somewhere. Like, well, wait a minute. No, that's important.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess you're not thinking, oh, they're gonna use it. You're not assuming everyone's out to get you, so you're not thinking, oh my God, that's evidence. Where is it? Somebody could use that to set me up. I get, it's not going to really be your first thought at
Well,
the time that he lost it. By the end, yes.
but they knew that they weren't supposed to be there looking at what they were looking at. Like,
That's true too. Yeah, that was at the oil patch, right?
right.
Yeah.
Where it was hidden.
That's also a good point. If that's the night that he lost it, then he needs to take his ass out there right away.
Yep.
Or be like, Roland, we might have a problem here.
Well, him and Roland weren't doing a lot of talking.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was just like, oh, come on.
That's what I was talking about, I think, in the last episode, where like he's like one of my favorite characters, but the whole time he's in this book, they're just at odds with each other, so you don't get to like enjoy I guess his personality, his quirkiness, because there's so much at stake the entire time,
It
and
didn't
those two
make
are fighting the entire time.
like at this point it didn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm like, why is he so mad at him? Is he jealous of Susan? Like that can't be it. I was like, is he really worried for their lives? Like I just don't feel like that would be it either. And I think it must be like what I think Elaine even said that he's jealous of Roland. Like he probably feels like he's not as close to Roland anymore. Maybe he like doesn't know him like he thought he did. And I'm like, dude, you just
Actually,
no, go ahead.
I have right in front of me now. His bitterness was frightening clear. He's jealous of her for stealing his best friend, Elaine thought, but it doesn't stop there. He's jealous of his best friend as well because his best friend has won the most beautiful girl any of us have ever seen. And that's when he starts talking about Cuthbert's forever second. It's always Roland. Roland's always first. Like I didn't actually think about, but
Okay, but what about Elaine? Like he
well,
seems to be just fine being second or third. I mean,
I think Elaine we can agree is usually third, but he seems to be he's okay with that. Some people don't want to be first.
like I don't mean to. I'm not gonna rank them, but one of them's a gunslinger and the other two are not. So Cuthbert needs to knock it off.
He got lucky. We all know that.
I mean, everybody can say that, but they haven't passed the test yet. So
What do you say, the West never leaves, such as you, something like
Oh,
that.
that was so good. Like, I never thought about the fact that nobody knew he was a rejected gunslinger, that Jonas was rejected.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
mean,
thought like his buddies at least would know that.
I don't exactly
I
see
don't.
him telling people, so.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't as old as him. Like, it's not like they. I don't think get the impression they had been like riding together for years and years and years. It seemed like a fairly newer uh get together with the
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
of them.
And I think I just forgot that in reading this. But like, yeah. It
Although they
didn't
did
it
have
didn't
tattoos.
yeah. I didn't think of it until he was saying like no one knows that, not even Reynolds and DePape, and I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, it's almost like I didn't really think about it because I don't know their world that well. But once he said it, it seemed kind of obvious, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, his personality just screams it.
Right. Not only that, but if obviously he knows how to shoot a gun, so if he was a gunslinger, he'd be a gunslinger. But so he's like a trained gunslinger that's not a gunslinger. So because I'm assuming, not everybody in the world is able to, shoot the way they can. Because it did. I think they said he was frighteningly fast or something at one point. So he's got gunslinger skills, but he's not a gunslinger.
Yeah.
Um, but out there in Hambry, who knows? The edge
Well,
of nowhere.
I think he seems like he has gunslinger skills to everyone else, but Roland is the only one that's like, eh, you're fast, but you're not that fast.
Right.
Yeah, I think Roland's actually the only one faster than him. Nobody's faster than Roland.
Yeah. Which I feel like will have something important to do with the upcoming chapters.
Uh, well, yeah, I mean, it's not like it's going to be conflict anymore. I feel like we've moved beyond that at this point.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, he's already, like you said the other night, he's already started doing and that was the last time they slept together, or that was the last time he was in the
right.
house or whatever. Like,
He never. Well, yeah, I'm not going to do it, but yeah, there's a bunch of them. They start amping up. If he'd have done this, then they'd have lived happily after, but he didn't. So he never saw her again.
I don't know if it's because I'm used to it or what, but there's something sort of comforting. It's like, yeah, we know there's a bad ending coming. We just got to find out what happens.
I know. It's almost like preparing. You're like, okay, it's coming. Are you ready?
Yeah, like a warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can stop here and not read the rest. That was actually foreshadowing as well. Like anybody would ever be able to do that. If you could do that, I would consider you not a true fan or reader or something. Anyway, there is a point later on that he says you can stop reading now, and
I thought you were just gonna let her be surprised by that.
yeah, well, I don't know. Am I giving anything away by saying that? I don't think so.
No, but it could have been a cool callback. She was like, "Hey,
All
wait
right.
a second."
I won't do it. I'll shut up.
I don't know
So-
that I've necessarily like caught on to that in this section.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of the like exact details are fuzzy for me since
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to like go through and read my highlights. I'm like, okay, where all of so this section is basically all like planning and building. Oh, the game of castles, I guess, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I think part of Cuthbert's problem is like they're doing all the mind-numbing, monotonous, dirty work while he's out getting laid every day. Like,
Yeah.
hold on, man. How about you suffer with us for a little bit here?
I don't blame
yeah,
him.
I think I would be
I would
annoyed
be
at that too if I counted, 8,000 rope buckles today. Well, what'd you do today, Roland? Oh, right, Susan.
But again,
But
no, I mean, I'm not going to say that he deserves to do that, but it's like Elaine ends up doing, they have to trust Roland. If they don't trust Roland, then none of them are going to survive.
yeah, he says if the Tet is broken, it will be because of you, not Roland, and for that I will never forgive you. Something like that.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, cut him
Uh
deep.
yeah, like Elaine's good when he needs to be.
Yeah.
And I don't. And so right, the touch is the shine, right, which is kind of a vague term for mental stuff you can do.
Oh my God, why can't I say the word?
Like go telekinesis. I was going with all right, like
Not telekinesis, but like telepathy.
Well, it's not really telepathy either.
It's well, that's
it's
true.
kind of like a weak telepathy.
Well, it's
Like
kind
you
of like
can,
psychic.
Yeah, like mind reading
Yeah. Well,
slash
isn't
like
that what telepathy is?
future sight is. I don't know.
Well, because
well,
like I know the touch is referred to, or like it allows them to see things in the future, but it also allows them to just like know things about the present or know things about someone like on meeting them, like from the past. So I guess it's like all past, present, and future.
and the big. Oh, we already did that, right? The big surprise was she was going to cut her hair after she got laid for the first time.
Yeah, that was before, but we did get. She was actually able to like recite what Rhea said because Elaine's touch is so enhanced. It sounds weird, but
I don't know. Elaine sounds a little touchy feely there.
Roland asked him to. It's okay.
Yeah, you're right about telepathy though. Supposed communication of thoughts or ideas by means other than the known senses. And I think my brain was thinking telekinesis.
Yeah, that's why I said not telekinesis, but telepathy. Wow, telepathy.
I like that telepathy. Got that telepathy.
But what's
Switch the
weird,
flip.
oh, sorry. I guess it must have been some kind of mind connection because Jonas knew when Elaine knew that he was there. Like
Who was
he could.
where?
So when Jonas was wrecking the cabin or the bar house, whatever, he
Oh,
felt he felt Elaine like touch him and
yeah,
realize that he was there. But then he
yeah.
was
Like the
like,
moment.
surely that wasn't what I thought it was because none of them are strong enough or whatever.
Oh yeah. He was like, none of them have the touch or the sight or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, that's only for gunslingers.
They're not gunslingers. Really? How do you know?
Well, Elaine's not a gunslinger, so
Well,
yeah.
but they're gunslingers
Why
in training.
why would a gunslinger only have the touch? This is a thing you learn. I mean, I guess it could be enhanced and all that. But
Well, I think part of like Roland learning how to hypnotize is like training that and stuff.
I feel like if Roland can hypnotize somebody, then anybody could probably do it, right? Um, so who is Cuthbert right or is Roland right?
Well, what's the question? Ooh, sorry.
Is Roland blinded by love? Is he making mistakes and putting them at risk because of Susan?
Well, technically, I think yes, because again, I'm not saying I'm not in favor of him and Susan being together, but it is putting them all at risk.
It's undue recklessness that hadn't been factored in when they went away and shouldn't have been a factor.
Right.
Because Roland should have been focused on the goal that they were trying to achieve.
I mean, who knows if well, I mean, they would have been on the coffin hunter's radar no matter what, but like it's still a a huge liability at this point, because now Jonas knows about them. So, he could definitely
Because of
use
the bar, you mean? Standoff?
because of Cordelia, or he suspects at least.
Oh, because she said something to him, you mean?
Yeah, she asked him to keep an eye out because she's worried, and that's when he got really suspicious and was like, wait a second, if he's able to get the mayor's girl and none of us have any idea, what else has he been able to do under our noses? And that's why he goes and searches in the oil field.
Yeah.
And he finds the skull, right?
Yeah. And then
Oh yeah,
plants
he
it.
almost didn't find it, and then it was around the bend behind the bush or some shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now that he knows that, I mean, that's a huge liability to Roland.
Yeah, I think it's well said when is it Cuthbert who said that you're right, but you're right for the wrong reasons, and that makes you all the way wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that kind of sums it up. Roland's fucking up by what he's doing, but I don't think his decisions are being influenced. I don't think what he's doing, like Cuthbert thinks that he's
being willy-nilly.
Yeah, he's just in love and like he's like, oh, whatever, I don't care. Just do what you want, and that's not what he's doing. Like, especially after the Jonas was what is it, the Barquet, I think, where they live.
Yeah.
Tearing everything up. That's what he wants, and that I agree with. No, you can't do that. That he wants you to come barreling out from beyond your hillock and expose yourself. So I agree with that. So it's like, yeah, Roland isn't putting them at risk. That's not right. Roland Bro's behavior is putting them at risk, no doubt, and he shouldn't be doing it no matter what. But he's not making bad decisions because of his feelings for Susan.
Every move he makes is still calculated, even though this overriding action of being with her is dumb.
Yeah.
Even though it kind of seems like they're not. And I just can't. It's hard to picture Roland in love. Just like, la di da di da. Like, sure, do what you want.
I think it's another compounded problem, too, of like, Roland is thinking like 3 steps ahead, but he's not sharing that with Cuthbert Erling. And they have, like, they can't see as far ahead as he does. So they're thinking he's not taking it as seriously when he still is. He's just not showing that.
Right.
Like, they have, because it even says in here, like, Roland, or not Roland, Elaine and Cuthbert still thought their like elders knew better than them, but Roland knew that they didn't. And that, like, in the game of castles, both sides were blindfolded and stuff. So like, he's not communicating well enough with the people who are supposed to be his quartet, and that's making them doubt him.
He even says that at one point. He's like talking to himself, and he is like, yeah, but you can't tell them yet. And he's like, why can't I tell them? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it does seem to be an overriding theme where he keeps everything to himself for some reason. Not real. What, like he doesn't trust them to? Like, come on, that's not a thing.
Right.
Why wouldn't he tell them?
If they're gonna trust you, you need to trust them too.
I mean, wouldn't they be stronger as a group with the common knowledge? Like, geez, at least tell them what you're up to. Like, if nothing else, allay some fears a little bit. Like, keep them in the loop so they go, oh, okay. So it makes sense to them, and they can. It's easy to get behind someone if you know what the hell they're up to.
Right.
And if you're just gonna blindly follow orders, I don't know, join the army. So yeah, he just, and like here where they're Cuthbert's like, we need to go out to, see the sheriff and tell him what we're up to and announce ourselves, blah blah blah. Roland's like, well, why don't you and Elaine go and see the sheriff?
Mhm.
And so that right there, I think, is him making a stupid decision because of Susan. So I have
Yeah,
to roll back, maybe, because that's not something he should have ever said, and he knows that.
but they
And
corrected right
Elaine,
away, right?
yeah, Elaine had to call him out.
Yeah.
He's like, don't be a fool. You're our leader. You're fucking going.
Yeah,
I don't have
because
to be
he's
there.
like, I'm not.
Cuthbert
And
doesn't have to be there. You have to be there.
I remember he said something like, "Nobody elected me the leader." And he's like, "All right, cut the crap. Don't even play that." Like,
Right. They didn't have to. Come on. Like,
Yeah.
Mr. fucking gunslinger with a hawk.
yeah.
People who aren't leaders don't do stuff like that.
Well, and it's like, as the only actual gunslinger of them, he is kind of de facto leader, whether he wants to be or not. Like,
Right.
you should have realized that.
Yeah, and he knows that. He's just right. You're the gunslinger in the group, so yeah, you're automatic. And, yeah, in case you didn't know, now you know. So like I said, I think he's right for that's a dumb decision, and like you said, Al did save them, but he's mostly right for the wrong reasons. Like I don't see. I can't figure out where I lie on that. Is he right for the wrong reasons, or is he just right for the right reasons? And
Roland?
Susan's neither here nor there in his decision making.
Well, I
Yeah,
do think we don't. It'll be better to make that when we know how the story ends, because again, so far they're all still fine.
Sort of.
Well, right, they're still alive. Let me put it that way.
Fair. Yes.
And technically, his affair with Susan, like with them where they are now, I don't think has anything to do with it, because they would have been under their radar either way.
I don't think they could have ran into town as the rich brats everyone thought they were without even unintentionally drawing attention to themselves. They would have been marked wherever they went just by who they were.
I mean, everybody already knew they were coming before they even got there.
Right. They were.
As a matter of fact, I mean, it seems like the coffin hunters were almost hired because they were coming.
I don't know if that was the case.
Maybe not, but remember, they were hired to be security. So, like, security from who?
Were they hired to be security, or were they hired to secure things for?
They're hired by Reimer and Thorne.
I have to look at my notes, but I remember specifically writing that down, that they had been. Let me see.
They were hired for security. Yeah.
Well, I thought they were hired, quote unquote, hired by the mayor as security, or hired by the counselor guy.
Oh yeah, you're right. They were hired as bodyguards for Thorne and Reimer, so that's a little different. But again, why would
that
they
wasn't
need
what they were actually in town there for. They were there to secure resources for the Goodman.
Right, I get that, but even if you take their fake reason, I don't understand what they would need bodyguards from. The boys, or like, I don't know.
I thought from the Goodman, which I'm saying Goodman because I can't remember his actual name.
Oh, that's true. Farson's men.
Farson, thank you.
The governor. What is this, Walking Dead?
The good man and his many men.
I haven't seen that far in Walking Dead.
Yeah, I can't believe it's still on. Although I think it's the last season.
I can't believe any of them are still alive.
Like everyone I know stopped watching it like 10 years ago. I think someone says that though, like bodyguards for what? They're like a Coral or Olive, maybe not Coral, maybe Olive. Coral's not a nice person either.
Olive is not a mean person. She didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Olive would be the one questioning it. Coral is just like, she's
Yeah.
in on the whole thing.
Kill my brother, please.
Yeah, like, oh well, he's dead. La di da.
Boo-hoo.
Come here and let's have wild monkey sex or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how much coke he was doing during this book, because there's a lot of references to stuff. Anyway, Elaine tells him, Cuthbert, that he has to stop being mad at him like that. He just Cuthbert looked at him bleakly. I can't.
Sorry. I also like that Elaine keeps saying, like, he's like, I'm waiting for Roland to just explode, but it never happens. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's not really Roland's style, I guess, even back then. Although I find that extremely hard to believe as a 14-year-old boy.
I mean, yeah, puberty fucked him all up. So I can't imagine he would be very restrained in other aspects.
Yeah.
He clearly let his testosterone take over his decision making. Because he knows damn well he shouldn't have been doing that. No way in hell that's a good idea. But I can see Cuthbert's point though. How annoying would that be if you're just trying to argue with someone, just like, you're right. I know. Yeah, we probably should. Like, oh my God. Like you just want to like, slap the shit out of him or something. Like, wake up. And I think that's exactly what that's what he does. That's in this part, right?
Yeah. Where he takes him outside and he's like, you need to look at this.
Yeah.
This square of dirt.
Well, that's after. Sorry. I was just going to say, after he gets the letter from Shimi. From Rhea.
Yes.
Honest no more. Yeah, I mean, Cuthbert's right. He put them all at risk. But, I mean, yeah. They were careful. It wasn't like they slipped up, but they shouldn't have been doing it. So, I mean, hey, asshole. Remember when I told you this?
Right.
I like the way he went about it. He just didn't show it to him. He fucking punched him in the face and said, there, now fucking listen to what I'm telling you.
Well, I like how him and Cuthbert Elaine agreed that like that was the only way to do it, or Roland would have just beat the crap out of him.
I know that, yeah, right. You had to sucker punch him, otherwise you wouldn't have had a shot. Like,
Yeah.
there's Cuthbert forever second. I wonder what it's like to be like best friends with somebody that's always better than you at everything.
Probably very frustrating.
I don't know if I could do it. Like, hey, great for you. I gotta like go over here where I'm at least even with some people. It would be so like, oh, check this out. Like, oh, look what I did. And he's like, oh, yeah, I did that 10 years ago. Check this out.
Yeah, except for Roland is not like that at all. It's all in Cuthbert's head.
Well, that's true. Roland doesn't exactly gloat. Or, yeah, like, I don't know what the right word is.
No, that's the right word.
Rub your face in it.
Yeah.
Like, nah. I'm the one that got the girl.
In fact, isn't Cuthbert? I mean, he says that Cuthbert is the one, or is that Elaine? He said he's better at him than something. I can't remember. Riddles, maybe.
I mean, everybody was better than Roland at riddles. Think about that. He was the worst one, and he was pretty damn good.
Well, it just goes to show you like what gunslingers are.
I mean, they didn't mess around with them Faraday gooses, man. You'll die over that. I guess, yeah. So Susan and Cordelia go at it back and forth. I don't know. This might be a short episode. Yeah, go figure. I don't. And then we get into the chat. What chapter am I in? No, it's only 3. Plain Castle. I mean, I'm trying to find stuff that I highlighted. Yeah, I was glad that like we started getting some glass ball going on because
Oh yeah.
you forget until I started reading it. Like, oh yeah, it's in the title, Wizard and Glass. Like, when's the glass gonna show up?
Well, we kind of got the wizard too. Well, there's a few. I don't know. You could take that in a few different ways.
There could be a few wizards,
Because
Martin and Walter, or Martin/Walter.
you have Merlin's rainbow, which is the pink ball.
Excuse me, that would be Maryland's
Excuse
rainbow.
me. It's also called the wizard's rainbow.
I did see that. I forgot about that. So does that mean there's like red and yellow and pink and yes, pink and green and purple and orange and
Well,
blue?
there are 12 or 11 other colors besides pink. Well, and okay, let me rephrase it. There are 13. One is black and one is pink. That's what we know.
We know that? I
Some of
didn't
them
know we
have
knew that.
been destroyed, so they say.
Yeah, and so then they say that they think there's a blue one and a green one and an orange one still in existence at least.
Are these things hollow?
Yeah, right. How heavy is it?
Because I picture it kind of solid. Like, I say, who is it? Maybe that doesn't happen yet. A lot of people threaten to destroy these things. And I'm thinking, is it that easy to destroy it? You just throw it on the ground and it. No, when they
Well,
come to get it,
yes.
Jonas and them.
Yeah. Rhea threatens it, and Jonas is like, "Don't do it."
Yeah. Oh no, they killed this. But like, and then it was like they weren't scared that she was going to throw it, but they were scared that she was so frail she was going to drop the damn thing. And I'm thinking, well, if she drops it and it breaks, my God, like how fragile is that? I would never let that thing out of my sight, much less like have it random people in the countryside keeping watch over it and letting them suck the life out of them.
I guess you bring up a good point. Like, is it hollow? Because if it's solid glass ball, isn't that like a marble? Like, shouldn't that be like impossible?
It is not going to break.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you might chip it,
guess,
but I feel like it could make up from that.
You never know though. Like magic items can be super finicky sometimes. So maybe if it is even just chipped, it could like destroy the balance of whatever magic is holding this thing together, and it's just like, oh, crash.
That's true.
There's oh, I passed it. I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Roland's riding past and Susan's in the window. He would remember her most clearly forever after. Lovely Susan, the girl at the window. So do we pass the ghosts that haunt us later in our lives. I believe that's one of our first foreshadowing moments.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way it's like this guy writes for a living. He's so good with the way he puts words together. So do we pass the ghosts that haunt us later in our lives. They sit undramatically by the roadside like poor beggars, and we see them only from the corners of our eyes, if we see them at all. Like,
I also like the recurring theme of like haunting, not just by the monsters, but like you're haunted by people and places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if he was in rehab, people, places, and things at the time. Yeah, it sounds like a much more complicated way of saying life turns on a dime. It's the little things. Like he's like, Farson was repeated to be whimsically, dangerously insane. No, thank you. I don't want to be anywhere near someone in charge of an army that's whimsically and dangerously insane.
Yeah, no thanks.
Like, who are the people that are like, I'm gonna follow that guy?
Oh,
What
Also
could go
insane.
wrong? Oh yeah, I'm at the part where Jonas finds so. Petty the Trotter. What the fuck does that mean? Every time I
No.
read that, like what it. So it's a nickname, but I don't understand what. She's like an old whore, right?
yeah.
I don't mean that derogatively. I mean that literally.
Yes.
Uh, so what's a trotter? Is that like slang?
I have no idea.
I You've got a couple of them in there. Like the can't remember 'em.
Yeah, I kind of
No.
just glossed over that.
Petty reminds me a little bit of the preacher in the Gunslinger.
um,
He's the big.
Isn't she mentioned in this
yeah,
section?
she does mention Sylvia Pittston.
Yeah.
Wow, you pulled the name out. I wouldn't have got that.
Well,
You wrote it down. Didn't you?
well, I didn't read it that long ago.
Oh, oh well. Oh, it was that late.
Actually, I
Okay.
think I wrote down what page it was.
Ria
So,
Dubativo. She has a last name.
yeah, I didn't
What's a
realize that.
coos anyway? Ria of the coos. What's a coos?
I don't know. I just all of these just feel like made up nicknames. So it's like whatever, like daughter of none. You know what I mean?
I know.
Of the
You're like,
coos.
let's do another line. Come up with a name. Um, I'm dry. And there's is Cully an insult or is it just bro? Or not, you know what I mean? Not bro, but like,
I
because like,
think Gilly was the insult. I don't remember. I wrote it down, but I don't have my concordance with me.
this damn
Oh, I
Hambry
got a
speak.
concordance. I don't have it in the house right now, but I got a concordance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I have mine. What am I looking for?
Cully.
All right, hold on. Hmm. Where would that be?
Well, I went to StephenKing.com glossary.
That's probably easier. Yeah.
Let's see. It has it separated by low speech and high speech.
I wish I knew what that meant. High speech is like the fancy talk, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
cully is low speech. In midword, the word cully can be used positively, so much so that it seems roughly equivalent to the British term lad. However, you can also use the term cully or cullies to refer to a callow youth or to foolish young men. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Where did you get that from? Because they pulled that right out of the concordance.
StephenKing.com/darktower/glossary.
That probably makes sense. I guess he's allowed to do that. Put it away, my Cully. Put it away, my dear heart. Susan Delgado calls Cuthbert Cully when she gives him a Corvette with a note in it for Roland. What is a Corvette? I mean, I know what a Corvette is, but I don't think that's what she gave him.
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
Later,
I'm gonna
Coral
picture this
Thorin
thing with
uses
like
the
a
term. What?
wallet.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Some kind of little note keeping handbag or something. Later, Coral Thorin uses the term when she addresses her lover, Elder Jonas. It can be used negatively as well. Rhea calls Roland a murdering cull after he shoots Ermot, her pet snake, who she wears dead and decaying around her neck for the rest of the book.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, that was super gross.
I don't even get why she cares when she's gonna like her other animal's about to die, and the other animals already did die.
Yeah,
Yep.
she tries to kill the cat every chance she gets.
Yeah.
I don't know why that thing keeps coming back.
Yeah, I don't either.
Musty. So, um, yeah, I'm dry. And the boy, I just read that. So. Count your blessings and have at it, Khalid. Um, Jimmy is also emerging as one of my favorite people in this part.
Yeah.
And I think at some point, maybe in one of the earlier books, they had said Shimi was part of the quartet. We were like, well, is he though? But now I'm starting to realize, oh yeah, he totally is.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Definitely.
like they're not doing anything without Shimi. Stephen King likes to take the ones that everybody thinks is dumb and make them like the most important one there, like Duddits.
Yeah, because they're looked over.
Yeah, I think it all goes back to his traumatic school years where he had the super bullies. But yes, so like wait, is Shima with them when they take Rhea, or is he following them?
What do you mean when they take Rhea?
When Jonas and them take Rhea.
Well, Shimi's not there.
Oops.
At least not that we know of.
So I'll just stop talking about Shimi, I think. And yeah, and I started to like Coral less and less as she started to show her true colors. And I started to wonder if she was involved in Pat Delgado. But clearly it wasn't an accident with the horse anymore at this point.
Right.
Yeah. I feel
So
like
then we do.
at this point half the town was in on it.
Right. Because half the town are traitors.
Yeah, like how did that happen? So Reimer is the thing I think that made it happen. And is he like, like Thorin and Delgado and Lengel and fucking Avery, like they obviously have all like lived and grown up in this town their entire lives. But I feel like Reimer might be like a more recent addition, like he just kind of came in out of the wind and he's the one that made it all happen.
Kind of feels that way, at least.
Like how did they all become traitors? How did the whole goddamn town become traitors? And they're all like secretive about it. And at this point, it's like, well, who are you hiding it from?
Well, I mean, how does anybody how did they recruit anybody on the good man's team? It's gotta, I mean, I'm sure it's like this, slow and behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess there's just so many of them. It's kind of surprising. You'd think there would be a couple and it would be super secret, but it's kind of like everybody. Like, oh yeah,
Well,
sure.
I mean, if a few people are unhappy about certain things going on in the town or in their government, then it's more likely that more people are going to be unhappy and susceptible to wanting something else.
I think they're just so far away from like the seat of government that they probably said here's you know they probably Parsons or Rima or whoever probably offered them something and they took it and it's like fuck yeah, technically we're for the affiliation, but we haven't heard from them guys in like 20 years, so they probably don't care that much. And then as soon as they like take the money and decide to help the other guy, the fucking people show up from the goddamn county seat or world seat.
Right. They're like, wait a second.
Yeah, I think if I was them, I'd have been suspicious from the get go.
Yeah.
Like, hold on.
Well,
The
they
second we
are.
decide to do this, they show up.
That's why they act all weird as soon as they get there.
Now that did I say this? I might have. They remind me of Smile. Like everyone walking around with their fake smiles when they get to town.
Yeah, that would get
Everything.
unsettling.
Yeah, everything reminds me of that. I think I'd have to watch that movie again.
You should definitely.
Yeah.
I'm still getting afraid, so.
I love the whole idea of the creepy smile.
Me too.
But I didn't. like the end very much.
Okay.
As if something awful was sliding towards him, something that was all insane eyes and red reaching claws.
Yeah, that he was doing too much of a metaphor. I thought it was an actual spider. And I was like, oh, that's the cat. Okay.
Right. It sounds like what is that? Yonder beast slouches toward Bethlehem or something, something like that.
I don't know.
Revelation.
Nope.
Yeah. Again, I love how as he's so far in these books, half the time the monsters that scare the shit out of the characters are all imaginary and in their head, and it's things they're dreaming up. Yeah, that's Shimi. Well, first of all, I can't believe Shimi ever went to Ria's house for any reason. Uh, and then he goes, and I think it's dark or getting dark when he goes back. I can't. I don't know if I would.
Well, no, they specifically sent him in the daylight.
I remember that, but wasn't it? Yes, that's why she said tomorrow.
Yeah. Because he even says all the daylight, all the sunshine in the world couldn't like quell his fear right now or something like that.
Yeah, and if that's like, was he more scared this time for some reason, or is this just the way it is every time he like drops her? And did he even get his tip? I don't think he did.
No, all he got was an assignment.
Yeah, because that was the whole reason that they talked him into it, because he pays well or something like that.
Right.
Wait, what assignment did he get?
The letter.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
and
kind of
not
important.
only was she like, don't lose it, but I'll be able to see.
It's kind of funny. She was as scared as he is of her. The second Cuthbert's like, "What is it?" He's like, "Well, here you go." I mean, I know he likes Mr. Arthur Heath because he saved his life, but he wasn't that scared apparently, because he gave it up more or less right away.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that I guess he's a really good guy. Like, he felt so conflicted about the letter that he was more worried about that than his fear of her, and I guess his own life.
Did he know what it said? No,
I was just trying to
right?
find that because I
I
remember.
don't think
He says he can't read, but is that true?
I doubt
Because
that.
he says something about how he's dumb as a something and he can't read nothing, but I feel like he was faking it when he said that to like somebody in the bar or something. Or maybe it was Rhea. He said that too. Because he told
No,
him
he
not to
says
read
it. I'm reading it right now. Yeah, he says it to Rhea, where she's like, "Take this and give it to Cordelia. Can't read, can you, idiot boy? Nay, words and letters go right out of my head. Good. Mind you show this to no one, or some night you'll find Irma waiting under your pillow." Well, that's an empty threat.
I mean,
well, not
or it's a gross threat.
Well, that's true. But that's true. He wasn't dead at that point.
Yeah, well, you still might find Irma, but oof. Yeah,
Okay,
so I'm not sure I buy that though.
No, then he explains it in the next paragraph. It was just an envelope, but it felt heavy and dreadful. What sort of letter could Rhea be sending Cordelia Delgado anyway? Shimi thought back to the day he'd seen Cy Delgado's face all covered with cobwebs and shivered. Oh, well, that doesn't really tell us anything. Never mind.
What was that? Like a beekeeper outfit or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she freaked him out. Like, wouldn't he have seen her in that before? He would. Oh, maybe not.
I think it's more just like he knows that she's not a good person. Neither of them are. So he's like, any letter from Rhea to Cordelia is not good news.
Yeah, maybe he's just, you can't say no to Cuthbert.
But
like he
it
likes
didn't
him
seem like
so. That was the case.
Well, I'm trying to find where he's talking about it, but I don't know. It seemed like he came to Cuthbert and was like, I don't know what to do about this.
You need
Yeah, but I can't find.
Well,
he came to steal our guile and our caution. With you, he has
he,
succeeded.
I mean, Cuthbert just saw Shimi and was like, "Oh, Shimi, hey, good to see you." And then he saw that he was like freaking out, and he was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what's going on?"
Yeah. Okay. Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Shimi was necessarily like, I have to tell Cuthbert. I think he was just like, I don't think I want to deliver this letter.
Yeah, I think he just like the opportunity presented itself, or Ka, if you want to go with that,
Right.
put Cuthbert
So
in Shimi's path, and because Shimi was comfortable with him, he was like, "You're someone I can talk to, and someone who I can feel like I can trust."
that damn car. Could be. So he's not very scared about Rhea's threat to him. But whatever. I'm giving this to the first person I see.
And also knowing that she could see him, I guess he forgot or doesn't care about that.
Yeah,
Well, right. And they never really. I was kind of expecting a chapter where Rhea watched him do it or something and was like, I'll get you, Mike Cully.
Well, somebody, I don't remember who makes the point, but they're like, she's not going to do anything because all she's doing at this point is sitting and watching the ball. So she might see you. I think Cuthbert says it. She might see you doing this, but she's just going to keep watching things happen. She's not going to do anything to you.
yeah.
Like how somebody says the ball doesn't show you good stuff, only the bad stuff.
Right.
Well, what does that tell you? Wait, did the ball show the maid yet? No.
Yeah.
The naked girl?
Oh, the one with the corners?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cleaning. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's weird.
gross.
That reminded me, have either of you guys read Lawnmower Man in Night Shift?
No.
Nope.
That was kind of the same thing. This guy like shows up and mows his lawn and he gets naked and the lawnmower runs by itself and he crawls on his hands and knees naked behind the lawnmower and like eats the grass. It's fucking weird. I don't really understand it. And that's what that reminded me of. It must have been a thing for him. He must have like seen a movie or something where that happened and it really affected him. Because that's kind of the same thing. He's like naked crawling around in the corner. So yeah, it doesn't show you like people, well, falling in love, but I guess it kind of does show you that.
Well, only
Well,
because
it
they're not
does just
supposed.
because, yeah, like they're still breaking promises and breaking rules.
Did you notice how? Well, yeah, I know it was self-serving totally. So it showed him falling in love only, and how it could twist that into bad things. Farson Seagull is an eye. Jonas hates that eye.
Yeah, I mean aside from them saying it, we've now at least seen it after what's his name draws it when he kills the mayor.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Who did that? The Pap?
It was one of them
No,
too. I don't remember who killed who.
no, I don't think you did. Were they both there?
No, DePap killed one, Reynolds killed the other, Thorin and Reimer.
Is that in this part? I feel
Yeah.
like we should probably
Yes.
talk about that. Okay, so the whole where are we still on Susan? No, or are we in? No, we're in Kumreek, right? Okay. And that's really what it's all building to, right? So Jonas gets mad and wants is like enough of this shit. Like I'm gonna get them to come out and we're gonna confront this because they decided that they were gonna die after the confrontation in the what's it called? The bar. I can't remember what it's called. So he basically gets tired of playing the game, I think.
Well, and then
Although
I
he
think
keeps
he also wants to just get the upper hand after finding out that because that happens after he or wait, well, no, never mind. Oh yeah, well obviously wait, which part are you talking about? Him destroying their stuff or him orchestrating their arrest?
Well, all of that, putting everything in motion to get them uh in trouble. Destroying their stuff. Okay, well, it didn't freak out, so fuck it, we're just gonna kill everyone and blame it on them. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
Like he went from I'm the best castle player in the world to I don't feel like waiting anymore.
I'm too tired for this.
Right. Me and Carl have some weird sex to go have in a different town. End of the podcast. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Ah.
Bye.